everybody, I am Chef Ben. This is Dinner with Ben, brought to you by Ashworks Cutting Boards and T-North Carbonated Iced Tea. This is episode 21, and today we are doing Christmas baking, and I am joined this evening by my two lovely older sisters, Chris and Cassie. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us. Welcome
to the show. Say hi, everybody. See, so there's a delay. So tonight we're going to make a couple of our family's classic Christmas bakings, treats, I guess. Hi, Sean. Hey, Bob. How are you? So what we're going to make, we call them moon cookies. They're almond crescent cookies. Or you guys know
Mexican wedding cake.
Mexican wedding cake. We're going to make apricot sesame cookies.
Or thumbprint cookies.
Or thumbprint cookies. And we're going to make cherry balls, which is pretty much just butter wrapped around a cherry.
And rolling coconut.
It is. So we're going to jump right in. And if you are taking part and we're going too fast, just let me know and we'll slow down. Otherwise, enjoy the show. And this one, they're probably going to torture me a little bit, so please send me your sympathies. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to kick Christy out of the kitchen for a few minutes, and Cassie and I are going to make moon cookies. And then Cassie will get out, and Christy and I will make apricot sesame cookies. And then I'll get rid of them both because what you all came here for is me. So we'll get them out of here and I'll make cherry balls. Okay?
And then Cassie will step in and help.
And then Cassie will step in and help. So come over here, Cass. So, talk to the people.
Hi. So this is a recipe that we've made, I think, all our lives.
Every Christmas forever.
I don't really remember Christmas without them. This will be my third batch already this season. Mom always made them. I don't know. They're pretty easy.
So Mom used to make them way ahead of time and then be in the freezer.
Yeah.
Same with the cherry balls, and like we'd always like sneak in. She'd have to make them like 3 or 4 times because we'd always eat them out of the freezer for months before Christmas.
And I don't make them as moons because I'm lazy.
And my family's already eaten an entire batch. So.
All right. So what do we do?
So we need some butter, and you need room temperature butter. What?
It's not quite room temperature.
It's not. Now, usually you would do this in a mixer, but my brother didn't want to use a mixer.
Hello, Nastasia. I can't remember if I said that right. I'm sorry. So we can say hi to people as they pop in.
Oh,
okay. Say hi to us, and you can see the comments there. I didn't want to use a mixer today because I know that some of you don't have a mixer, and I want this to be accessible to everybody. If you do have a mixer, by all means, you can use it. Plus, as a little added bonus, I know that this is going to drive her crazy, which is also partly why I didn't want to use a mixer. And it's very loud.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
So you need a cup of butter. It's important that it's room temperature. If you're going to warm it up in the microwave, just don't.
Why?
Because if it's too runny, your cookies aren't going to set. And then if it's... oh my goodness. It's pretty firm.
Okay.
So if it's too soft, your cookies are going to spread and they're not really going to work very well. So you want to make sure it's like room temperature. So, if we were using a mixer, this wouldn't really matter, but yeah.
So because the butter is pretty cold, even though it's been out for like 4 or 5 hours, I'm just going to grate it because the smaller pieces will come to room temperature a lot quicker than a big chunk of butter. This is also a really great technique for making tea biscuits as a way to incorporate the butter for
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. That's because I told you the other day. You can talk, you just have to speak louder so they can hear you. I've fed them some wine, so things might get a little
Mine will
crazy.
be gone very quickly, so I'll be very...
So, once we get the butter in here, what else are we doing?
But the butter looks like cheese.
Yeah.
You just gotta mix the butter until it's soft, and then you add in a cup of icing sugar.
Okay. Those measuring cups?
Yeah.
So these cookies, they're almond crescent cookies, so they have a very strong almond flavor. And today, everything we're using is gluten-free, but obviously you can just use regular flour and stuff.
How much icing sugar?
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta talk while you're doing stuff, Cass.
I don't really have anything to say.
So you like baking a lot.
Yes.
So when we were kids, I spent more time in the kitchen with Mom when she was cooking, and Cassie spent more time when she was baking.
Yes.
What about you?
And I'm just chopped liver over here.
We'll get to you later.
I baked with Mama. I bake and cook with Mama.
Yeah.
You should come stand over here so they can hear you.
You can pull up a chair.
They're all like tucked on the table. Yeah, I think I did both.
Yeah.
I remember baking a lot though.
I definitely did not bake very much.
I baked a lot. There were a lot of us in the house, so we baked a lot.
Yeah.
So we're all biological siblings, but then we have a pile of step siblings as well.
Alright, here Ben, you mix that.
Sean said that you were in the barn looking after the goats.
You mix
Was
that.
not.
Alright, and then we want to slowly add in our half a cup of icing sugar while still mixing.
You don't have a mixer though.
That's why Ben's mixing.
Oh God, it's all over me.
Just use your hands.
This is why bakers wear white jackets, whereas chefs wear black.
Well, chefs usually wear white jackets too. The idea being that if you do a clean jacket, you're a good chef.
Oh, I always thought bakers wore white so you couldn't see the flour and the icing
No,
sugar.
classically, the idea behind the white chef coat is the cleaner your coat, the better the chef you are.
Oh.
I say.
Which only shows up a lot.
Yeah.
So, Cassie and I together probably made the worst dish that we've ever made in our lives.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Is it the soup?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to tell the story?
I don't even know how it started.
We didn't want to eat the dinner that Mom made.
Yeah, it's
And Mom had
or something.
Mom had a saying that if you didn't like the meal, then you could eat it at a different restaurant.
Yeah.
But there was no other restaurant.
We
And
lived
it
in the
wasn't
middle
going
of
to be
nowhere.
free.
No.
Yeah. So I believe we cooked it on the wood stove.
Cooked is a
Yeah.
is a loose
It
term.
was a very large stock pot. I remember whole potatoes,
Cinnamon, I remember.
cinnamon,
I think there was peas in it.
I remember turnip.
probably. Yeah, and it was lukewarm and crunchy. And I remember Ben didn't eat it.
I sure did.
And so he went to his room for the night. But I ate a bowl of it. Because I didn't want to go to my room. And then I ate about half, and Mom was like, okay, that's fine.
We were very, very young when we did that.
We were like 15. I'm just kidding. We were very young.
Well, that was in middle
student,
studiac.
yeah.
So
I would have been like probably 4 or 5.
No, 6 or 7. We moved there when you were 4.
We moved there when I was 3.
I was
In
in
January, and then I turned 4.
grade 6.
Yeah, you're 7 years older than me. That math doesn't work out. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Okay.
Alright, so next comes a cup of ground almonds.
So all we have in here so far is 1 cup of butter and half a cup of icing sugar.
Yeah, it needs to be fluffy.
Well, then get in there.
The recipe says beat until fluffy.
No. Almond flour.
Do you guys know where Mom got this recipe?
From a magazine.
Ah.
So if this is your recipe, I apologize. We don't know whose recipe it is.
Well, I have it in an antique cookbook.
Yeah.
Maybe Betty Crocker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's the Mexican wedding cake. And they're balls, they're not moons.
Yeah.
So is almond flour and ground almond the same?
This is just what I had on hand. Leave me alone. So my sister is a little upset because this is just almond flour, so it's very, very finely ground. And typically we would use ground almonds, which is slightly coarser, but I think it's going to make even a better cookie. And ground almonds are expensive, and I already had a bag of this. So.
I think it'll be fine too, but apparently mine aren't as good as Cassie's, so... What do I
So
know?
should I use an equal?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So we need 1 cup of ground almonds. Oh, and I also wanted to say with this recipe, don't cheap out and use margarine. Butter is important
Why?
because it just tastes better. No, it'll make a lighter, flakier cookie if you use butter, whereas margarine it'll be kind of heavy and greasy.
But if you're using margarine now, don't worry about it, just keep
yeah,
going.
just keep going. If they don't taste good, though, it's not our fault. Oh, I was supposed to mix the flour and the ground almonds.
Oh, then it is your fault!
All right.
How many times have you made these?
I actually have made them already today. So then a cup and 3/4 of flour.
And again, this is gluten-free flour.
And it's equal.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1.
It smells strange.
It's the xanthan gum.
It's what?
The xanthan gum?
Ben is the only gluten-free one, so we're all something. We're all something.
Yeah, you guys are both lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
I can eat all the cheese I want.
Rub it in.
That is a lie.
Shut up. Shut up, wife.
This smells familiar.
Maybe rice?
Maybe
No,
it's the
there is rice flour.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe rice, maybe chickpea.
It doesn't smell bad.
No.
So this is going to look really dry and kind of crumbly at first. Just keep mixing, and you can use the back of your spoon to kind of push the dry ingredients into the butter.
Your daughter's here, Christy.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex.
What time is it?
I was really confused.
6:14.
When she was at the door.
Oh.
So this does look really, really dry.
Yeah.
What consistency are we looking
She's
for?
gonna go to hockey tonight.
Not this. Here, you mix. Just keep mixing. That's one way to do it.
This is what they had before mixers.
That's true.
Look, it's coming together.
Yeah. Now, if you did use really, really soft butter and you're...
We didn't preheat the oven, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So what do we need to turn the oven on
I
to?
don't know how to use your oven. 300. So if you did use really, really soft butter
that's not
and
bad,
your dough
No, it doesn't
seems
melt.
too soft, you can just put it in the fridge and take it out of the fridge and make the cookies, so it's fine.
How long would you leave it in? An hour?
Depends how soft it is, but yeah, about an hour. 20 minutes to an hour.
That's a pretty big. That's a pretty big gap.
Well, it depends how soft it is. If you use like liquid butter, you're going to need about an hour.
But you shouldn't use liquid butter.
No, you should not. What did you do with that?
Brenda's there too.
There's no almond extract in this?
No,
Did you put vanilla in it?
no.
You want to? Behind you.
Should you?
It's supposed to.
So the recipe is 1 cup butter, half a cup of icing sugar, a cup of ground almonds, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and
Maybe
a
that's
third,
why it was dry.
1 3/4 of a cup of flour.
I'm
Thank you.
flying by the seat of my pants, the same way Ben cooks.
Well, I just don't follow recipes.
Yeah. I apparently don't either.
That's like the difference between baking and cooking.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I always find baking is more chemistry and cooking is more like an art.
definitely.
Cooking, the way I see it is like, baking is more like classical music, whereas cooking is more like jazz, where you're just
I
like,
thought you were gonna say rock and roll.
I did too. Hi, Petra.
Hey,
"Hi,
Katie.
Petra. Hi, Wendy."
Hi.
Wendy, I didn't see your comment. I don't know. Thanks, Barb. Oh, Barb Landry's here. Hi.
Hi, Aunt Barb.
Hi, Barbie.
Wendy, you haven't missed much. This is my sister Cassie. We're making what we call moon cookies, which are a family staple in our house. And we're going to make some...
That's good. Don't overwork it.
Then we're going to make some apricot sesame cookies, and then we're going to make some cherry balls.
So I guess there's no gluten, so you can't really overwork it.
Oh, good point. That's a good point, Cass.
Yeah.
That is a good point. So
So-
shut up.
So you want to take, I don't know, what would you call that? Like that's
A 1
way
inch
too
ball.
big. A 1 inch ball approximately. And then you roll it into like a snake. I don't know.
Wendy said I have beautiful sisters.
Thank you. I make these with a 4-year-old. That's what I did today. So snake is what you get. And then you just form it into like a half moon kind of shape.
Mine looks way better than yours.
Not really.
What? Are you kidding me?
Yours is too big.
Susie's coming to judge.
Yours looks really like lumpy. It's skinny at the end.
It looks like a soybean pod.
Yeah, it looks like there's beans in it.
This is total BS.
So yeah, you just keep rolling them out.
Well, you got some rolling to do.
Yeah.
Yes, so make this smaller.
I mean, really, it depends how big big you want them. If you want bigger cookies, then
I think
go
Mums
for
used
it.
to be fatter.
They did.
That's probably why they bake longer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because the recipe says they're baking for 25 to 30 minutes on 300. But you said you baked them for like 10 minutes?
Yeah, I baked them today and they were 10 minutes each. And they came out perfect.
You guys can get in here and help us roll these if you want.
Or I could go over to the table while you start them.
Well, look, we might as well get them done.
Try to roll one.
What? Shut up!
She's criticizing your moon cookies.
So I did think of a story today that I could tell you guys about Chef Ben.
Ben's nervous now.
Is this appropriate or am I going to be
Oh
angry?
no, it's completely appropriate. So when we were kids, I remember we had this kids.
I'm just going to go over there and prepare to rip the cord out of the phone.
No, it's not a bad story. I'm not going to embarrass you.
Is this the muffins?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh god.
So we had this kids' cookbook, and in it there was a recipe for these treasure
My
muffins.
wife, Suzanne, everybody, by the way.
They know me.
And the muffins had like a glob of jam in the middle.
Quinn said hi to you.
Hi,
And
Quinn.
hi, Quinn.
To Suze!
Hi, baby.
Anyway, so these muffins
Just a-
had
so-
jam.
Wendy, yes, they are like shortbreads shaped like moons, but they have a very high percentage of almond or ground almond in them. So they have a very almondy flavor and almost a little mealier texture than a shortbread.
Yes,
It
definitely.
seems to me
but
like-
they're like melt in your mouth like a shortbread.
Ben might be avoiding the story.
Yes, I feel the same. With his constant interruptions. Not very professional.
He's answering questions.
This is my show, guys. Come on.
So anyways, Ben comes
Look
up-
at this cookie sheet that my sister brought because she thought that I didn't have cookie sheets. Look at the difference. This is a clean cookie
Okay,
sheet.
no, I want to
Oh, mine are
explain.
cleaner than that.
Look, I want to explain.
He's still avoiding the story, just for
I
the
know,
record.
I know. So,
I made this
a
too.
good cookie sheet is worth the investment. My big sister Christy bought me both of these cookie sheets over the years.
Actually, I don't know if I bought
Yes, you did. So, my cookie sheets are brown, and you'll see lots of kitchen hacks online to remove the brown from your cookie sheets. I don't agree with that. This is like a natural seasoning like you would
This one?
put on a cast iron frying pan. So I would recommend if your pans look like this, leave them like this, because then nothing's going to stick.
So I would say that this pan has these designs in it because it
Yeah.
was made to be non-stick.
Yeah, wash them.
The
Wash
pebble,
them.
I do wash them. The pebble design is so that air can get down under the food.
Wendy, I thought that was a beautiful cookie. So
Oh my goodness.
Wendy said it looked like a banana.
Yeah,
They all look like bananas.
They do look like bananas. All right, so these
This
are.
this is why I make mine as like full moons.
But they're so much better this
I
way.
make them just balls because
They're so much better this way.
yeah, mine. I don't know.
Why don't you show us what?
Yeah, look at you.
Well, I'm gonna
Because
do
it looks like this.
yeah, that's what it looks. It's just a ball. That's the Mexican wedding cake way. Just because then you don't have to worry about this and it's not as finicky. And I have 2 kids. It's busier.
Yeah.
I always use parchment. Cassie, Wendy asks, I always bake with parchment paper. You never use? Question mark.
Depends on the recipe
It depends on how much butter's in the recipe.
and how much sugar is like. If a cookie has sugar on the outside, like a ginger snap, then you would want to use parchment so that the sugar doesn't caramelize and stick to your pan. But for a cookie like this, you don't have to. That is terrible.
That's Susan's.
No, this one was Suze's.
No, that one. I didn't make that.
Well, it looks like a turd.
I don't think that was mine.
This sheet is way too crowded.
You show the pan.
Okay, what were you saying? You were telling an adorable story about me when I was a kid?
Ben made muffins and replaced the sugar with salt, and they were disgusting, and he cried because Mom wouldn't let him take them to school.
They
You
were bro-
interrupted me so many times. We get the abbreviated
That's
version.
the fastest storytelling ever. You need to come to my house and teach someone that.
All right, this pan is done. You don't want to
She's talking to
overcrowd them. There you go. Now I'll take these over to the side.
So, I will say that this is a great thing to get like kids to help with.
Yes.
Because we used to do this all the time.
Yep.
When we were kids, and you got your kid to do it.
I probably rolled millions of moon cookies in my life.
I don't think that's true, but I'm sure a
I
lot.
believe it is.
I don't think you know how much a million is.
I don't know if I've gotten my kids to make these. We do cutout cookies.
Really?
Yeah.
Your poor kids. Alex, Quinn, you can come to my house and make moon cookies anytime.
And then you'll understand why they haven't made them.
I make them in the 4-year-old, I'm sure 2 teenagers would be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so the oven's preheated there. So again, that's 300, and we're going. You said 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Here, pop these guys in there too.
They're crowded.
You can take.
Yeah. Alright, there we go. And now I'm going to step off and let
Okay.
Christy come in.
I didn't bring my own
So-
bowls and stuff.
That's okay.
Just
She
for
did.
the record, if Cassie made 1,000,000 cookies in just say like 30 years, maybe but 35 years, that means every year for Christmas you make 2,850 cookies.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but
I totally do.
my wife just did the math on it because Cassie said she's made millions of cookies, and Sue said that every year for her life she'd make over 2,000. Is that it?
Yeah, 2,857.
Since you were
2,800.
born.
Since she was born.
That sounds right.
You think you'd be a little better at making them?
Oh! Snap.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to make thumbprint cookies.
Yes. You set a timer. 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you need?
A bowl.
These. So we both remember Mom making these,
I remember.
but it wasn't like something we had all the time.
So, Mom always make thumbprint cookies, and I make them every Christmas. And this is just a variation of them with sesame seeds on them. So I'm going to make some with sesame seeds and some without. I like the sesame seeds just because they add an extra little crunch to them,
and a nice flavor.
and I love sesame flavor, so I like them. But you can leave it off if you don't like them, or if you're allergic, or you don't have them. So we're going to start out with 1 cup of butter. Already cut. Look at that. Thank you, Cassie. Now, I know Ben grated it, which is fine. I mean, if you want to. But I would just cube it. Because the butter's still a little bit hard, so I just cube it up a little bit. And I'm going to do this all with my hands, which I just washed, because we're not using a mixer. And
well, you can use it.
Oh.
And if you're making the cookies with kids, it's fun for them to get their hands in. Oh God, look at the camera. Thanks, Ron. It's fun for the kids to get their hands kind of in it and gooey, like if they were playing with Play-Doh. And I make another cookie actually called a monster cookie that you don't use a mixer for, you just do with your hands. It's a crazy cookie that has everything in it but the kitchen sink.
Oh, the monster cookies?
Yeah.
Those were always good.
They have cornflakes in them.
Yeah.
What cookie is
Watch
cornflakes?
with the knife, Jesus.
I didn't stab you at all.
She's going like this. Yeah, I make these monster cookies all the time.
Okay, so now we need 1/2 cup sugar.
Cassie got all the measuring cups nice and dirty.
Dirty measuring cups. Yay.
You're lucky it's only icing sugar. That's the Christmas magic.
Okay. So there's the sugar. And I'm actually going to throw in a splat. It's 1 teaspoon of almond extract. But I'm just, it's not even open.
I think I have
Oh,
open one.
do you?
Yeah.
So Ben's looking for an open almond extract.
You sure it's not in here? I think it's in your room. That's nice.
Just gonna open it. Did you find it? I don't know.
Yeah, I had star anise too. There we go.
I don't want star anise.
No, it's all there.
You put 1 teaspoon. We're not that fancy.
So like everything that we're making right now is almonds in it.
So if you're allergic to almonds, I'm sorry.
You could substitute vanilla extract though, right?
Yeah, you could use, and depending on which kind of jam you're using, if almond doesn't go as well, like if you wanted to use, you could use peppermint, or you could use vanilla, or even star anise if you wanted. Susan's over there.
You could use what?
Star anise.
Star anise?
Shoot. Anyway, I'm going to mix this with my hands. Just because it's easier than the spoon.
So you made these like just recently?
Yes.
When's the last time you made them before that?
Last Christmas.
Oh really?
I make thumbprint cookies every year. I just
Gotcha.
didn't have the...
You just don't put the sesame
I
seeds
didn't
on
put the
it.
sesame seeds on them, but we were talking about what cookies to make, and I remembered Mom doing these, and I really liked them, and I love sesame seeds, like I said, so that's why I'm doing them. So if you want to get the flour again, as soon as this is all mixed, we're going to need that. So
And
you,
we're hoping that all these are going to turn out, but we've never made them with the gluten-free all-purpose flour, so
yes. So we'll see how it goes.
we'll see. What were you going to say? Yeah, I interrupted you.
Missing Cassie giggling. Sean says he misses listening to you giggle.
It smells very almondy.
It's very almondy. I didn't put that much in though, but it does smell for a lot.
What is it? It's
1 teaspoon for this amount of sugar and butter is quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
So yeah, like I said, I'm just doing it with my hands, and that's what it looks like right now. Just kind of gooey, buttery deliciousness.
So the recipe is 1 cup of softened butter, which we have in there, half a cup of sugar.
1 teaspoon.
Yeah, go for it.
1 teaspoon almond extract and 2 cups of flour, which we're going to put in next. Then half a teaspoon of salt is basically all that is all that's in the cookie itself. So you want to pour the flour in?
Yes.
Because I don't want to touch your measuring cups. Buttery hands.
Hi, Joel. Hi, Laura.
Hi!
Do you want them both, or do you want to wait?
You can put the other one in. It's gooey. This flour feels like silkier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, baking flour, like all-purpose flour, is normally pretty silky on your hands anyway, but this feels very silky.
So this is sweet white rice flour, whole grain brown rice flour, potato starch, whole grain sweet white sorghum flour, tapioca starch, and xanthan gum, which replaces the gluten.
So you can read all the ingredients. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing in there that's, gonna make you wish you hadn't eaten it.
No, if I can't pronounce the ingredients, I don't always like eating it. So you just keep doing this till it gets to like a good dough.
Thank you for the note, Wendy. I didn't think about that.
What?
Wendy says most of all the shortbread she makes are gluten-free, and they don't darken up so much. So don't bake them until
good
they're
to
dark.
know, Cass. Good to know for me too.
Sean said the flour makes you look like you have a tan.
You're so nice. Okay. So this is doughy. It's good.
Is good?
Yeah, so now we need baking sheets.
Do you want parchment?
You don't really need it. These are, there's a good amount of butter in them, so you don't really need parchment. Like Cassie said, like a sugar-coated cookie, you might want parchment, or if it's like more of a dry cookie, like...
Yeah, this sesame seeds will help too.
Yeah.
Hi, Petra.
Trying to think what other cookies you would need. Another cookie that might have like a strong sugar content, like do you remember the lace cookies?
No.
Mom used to make these cookies that like they're almost all sugar, and then the sugar would burn on the pan and it would like bubble and make a lace.
Oh, I do remember those.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's...
It's almost like a wafer.
Yeah, so definitely something like that you would want a parchment.
I
My
personally,
hands are very, very goopy now.
I use parchment for everything.
I like parchment a
Yeah.
lot. I like that you can just wet it and then form whatever pan you want. So I'm going to rinse my hands up a little bit. You've never wet parchment?
Grandma Kelly said hi.
Hi, Nanny.
Hi, Nanny.
Hi, Nanine.
Yeah, I've never wet parchment either.
You can wet parchment paper?
Well,
Yeah. So you wet the parchment paper. So I'm just rinsing off my hands a little bit. So you wet the parchment paper, and then you can form it to any size pan. And when you bake it, it doesn't really affect anything. It just stays that shape. Like if you wanted to, instead of just doing the bottom, this whole pan, you would take a big sheet and wet it under the tap and crumple it up, and then unfold it, and it fits into the pan better.
You can also just oil the pan.
I know, but you're talking about parchment, not oil.
No, but I mean the oil will.
Yeah.
But the water, like the steam from the water won't affect it?
No, maybe with a baked good, but if you're doing like a casserole pan and you're worried about like maybe like a sticky bun, you could do it in that and you wouldn't stick.
I don't understand why you're having so much problem getting the parchment to form to your pans.
If brownies or something, like in a square pan, you go to pour it in and it's all popped up and then it sinks down.
Oh, I just fold it in.
Yeah, folding's a pain. If you don't want to be fancy and fold it, you can just wet it. So Ben's squishing the seeds into them a little bit. Just kind of put the seeds on and then roll it again so that they stick in.
And these are probably about a tablespoon of...
Yeah, about a 1-inch size ball. Just kind of roll it nice and tight. And actually, I forgot about something.
Uh-oh. What'd you forget?
I would just, when I was rolling them earlier, I just kind of flattened them out a little bit because we're going to press them down anyway. And it helps prevent them from cracking.
Okay.
See how that one cracked? Because we're going to use, I brought my magic wand that Dad made me. And I'm using the end of this. You could use the end of a wooden spoon or your thumb actually to make the indents in the cookies.
They're called thumbprint cookies.
I know, they're called thumbprints, but if you use your thumb, it kind of makes it not really even. And if you have nails, it'll dig into the cookie.
Okay.
Yeah, roll your eyes. Gently. But see how it split a little bit?
Yeah.
So if you flatten them out some, they don't split as much.
Oh, I flattened that one out.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cassie, do you want to check your moon cookies? Don't be so excited about it.
She's
Jesus.
like, oh, I already made these today.
I already did this.
I'm at a cooking show. Shouldn't you be checking them? Laura's laughing at us.
No.
Oh, that's weird. They're sticking to the pan.
No, they're not. They'll be fine. Unless it's your gluten-free flour.
I think it's your seasoned pan. How did this go from we were supposed to pick on you to picking on Cassie?
That's how my life goes.
Cassie's the middle child.
Yes.
So
Is that the timer?
yeah, that's the timer.
They're not done.
So it's probably going to be 20 to 25 minutes.
No, it's going to be like another 2 to 3.
Well, so they've been in for 10. We're going to put them in for another 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll check them. They're not browning. Thank you, Wendy. We know to check for that. But they're also kind of sticking to the pan.
No, they'll be fine. So what you want to look for with the moon cookies is you want the bottoms to
So
be...
You're not in the
yeah, you
shot.
got to come over to this side.
You want the bottoms to be a light brown and the cookies to just start to turn golden brown and firm up, and that's when they're done.
But the gluten flour's not going to brown.
Ooh,
That's what we were saying.
I
That's what
know.
Wendy told us.
I know, I wasn't paying attention.
She was over there drinking wine.
Yes, I was.
Yes, Joel. This was a court-mandated episode. No, I thought it'd be fun to have my big sisters on. I was wrong.
Ben doesn't bake a lot.
No, I don't really like baking.
And Christmas is like a baking time of year.
Yeah, baking is, like I said, when we were kids, I always spent time with Mom in the kitchen when she was cooking, not baking. So that was...
Mom was a good cook, but I think I like the baked goods more. I think that's why I was in there for more of the baking. What about you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like her baked goods were delicious, but it just wasn't really my go-to.
She was also really good at taking nothing or very little and making like a really good meal out of it.
You say that, but the ground beef, onions, and stuff, I hated
Yeah.
that.
Stroganoff?
I hated that so
I loved
much.
it, but then I made it as an adult and it's really gross.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Bob, I'm going to take that as a compliment, thank you. He said that we remind him of what him and his children are trying to cook together in the kitchen.
That's exactly right, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm going to press down some more of these. You're like good at crowding pans. I'm just going to say.
Are these going to spread that much?
They don't, but it's almost like if you put them together too much, the steam from the cookies affect the other cookies.
That's not a thing.
It feels like a thing.
It is a thing.
Jen doesn't think it's a thing because he doesn't bake.
Do you put the jam in now?
Yes. And I
So
was
we were
contemplating-
talking about this.
Yeah, I was thinking about heating it up because it doesn't really spread that well, but I think I'm going to be...
So one of my favorite things about thumbprint cookies is when you bake it and then the jam gets nice and thick and almost like gummy. I always love that about them.
Okay,
That's, you know.
Yeah.
We have another sheet too.
Okay, well, let's just hold that one and we'll just do one sheet for right now.
Okay. Because we actually need to crank the oven up for these.
Yes, these go in at 400 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. And these, like, we were talking about how the gluten-free flour doesn't really brown, as Wendy told us, but the sesame seeds definitely will. So we got to keep an eye. I'm like waving my wand around here. So we got to keep an eye on the sesame seeds that they don't burn, and that's a good indicator to know if they're done. And I meant to do some without sesame seeds, and I forgot.
Well, we do have a whole other pan.
I know. We'll make more. Here,
Okay, well,
give this to
those
you.
moon cookies have about another minute and a half, so let's put the jam in.
Okay. So do you want to take those out and I'll jam these up?
Well, they need another minute and a half.
Okay.
I just said that.
I need 2 spoons. Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are cute little spoons.
Oh, thank you.
So, we're going to put the jam in the divots that we made with, you could have used your thumb, the end of a measuring spoon, the end of, believe it or not, the handle of My mallet used to be really good. You know, like the meat tenderizer mallet. That was really good because it had a nice firm base on that. I just used the magic wand my dad gave me. So then you just squeeze
No
a little
Petra.
jam.
No Petra.
What did she say?
She said she thinks this should be a regular thing.
Cooking with the Kellys. Easy on the ginger snap, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin. Easy. Do you guys know what Kevin is?
I think in this case it's Sean.
It is. I don't know why Joel and Sean call each other Kevin.
You didn't put any salt in there, did you?
No, I forgot. It's fine.
So we're just gonna...
He's gonna sprinkle salt on them. They'll be delicious.
That's how baking works, right?
That's how baking works. It's alright.
I don't like baking, okay?
You know what? I could like pretty much make these out of whatever I wanted and somebody in my house would eat them. I could like forget to put the salt. I could make them with crabapple jam or cranberry sauce. Somebody in my house
Where
would
are you
eat
getting
them.
crabapple jam? I'd be interested in some of that.
I know you would. Look at you. See? Somebody would eat them. Doesn't matter. They're delicious. As far as how much jam to put in the divots you make, it's feel. I don't know. Sometimes I put too much, sometimes too little. It's whatever you want.
If you put too much, it's gonna melt over the cookies, though.
I just said it's not melting. It didn't melt when I made them. When I made them the other day. Ben's taking the cookies out.
Awfully stuck.
Yeah, once they cool, they will. Are they cooked, do you think?
That's
Yeah.
what she thinks.
Oh, definitely. See? Not stuck. Oh, they're so fragile, though. They're not stuck, but they're fragile. It fell apart.
Because it's stuck.
It didn't stick.
I love that the thing I'm making is going to be the only thing that works out tonight.
Isn't it like the only thing that doesn't bake?
Yes.
And also, you should have your cherries drying.
It's not...
Cassie's trying to like produce this show over here. I don't know what's going on.
She's trying to be helpful so that it works.
It'll work. It'll
Ben's
work.
like, Ben's like, no. No. Just no. Okay, there you go.
This one needs more jam.
Oh, okay. Did you crank the oven up?
Yeah.
400?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So these need to bake for what?
10 to 12 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
I think I ended up putting them in for
Is
about
it a
11.
real 10 to 12 minutes or is it Cassie 10 to 12 minutes?
It's a maybe longer than 10 to 12 minutes, but at least 10 to 12.
Okay. I just got
hate you guys.
a couple of middle fingers over there.
Alright.
I'm doing this one too.
What are you doing? I put the jam away. Here. I put the spoons in the sink.
Put a cherry in it.
It'll be wet.
That's right, because they didn't
That's like the
pre-dry.
most jam in
Shut up.
every cookie. You know, Cassie said that's going to melt and leak over.
Why'd you put some of the jam?
Oh my god. Well, that's it for tonight.
So we're just waiting for the oven to heat up from the other batch.
Hi, Ruby. Hello, 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 everybody.
Cameos by Cassie.
Laura.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we're just waiting for the oven to heat up.
Yep.
And
You
then...
can start straining your cherries.
Oh my god. if one more person says strain your chair, he's going to lose it.
Strain your cherries! That's a sexy moon cookie right there.
It's not stuck, it's just fragile.
Shouldn't they be taken off onto a cooling rack?
Yes, I don't know where, though.
Ah.
That was getting really loud.
Well, they can't go there because I need to...
Oh, you're going to cook there.
There.
So now that the moon cookies are out, Cassie's going to use a spatula and take them off the non-stuck pan.
These well-seasoned pans.
Oh, they didn't stick. Oh, yeah.
Were you hoping they would?
Kind of.
So once these cool, the last thing we're going to do is roll them in icing sugar.
Do you cool them all the way?
Yes.
I always roll mine warm because then they get a really nice thick coat
Well,
on.
that's why yours aren't very good.
The icing sugar will melt if
I
they're
know.
warm.
And so if you roll them in the warm, the icing sugar melts, and then you have to roll them in again. So it gives an extra gooey coating. It's good. It's a nice thick coating of sugar on them.
If you have a 4-year-old roll them in sugar, they also have a really thick coating of sugar.
Okay, so we have moon cookies, which came out of the oven and they're just cooling. And then we'll roll them. We have thumbprint cookies that we're just waiting to pop in the oven. And now it's cherry ball time. It's bedtime. Shine.
Oh yeah. What was your favorite thing Mom made? Cherry balls?
No. So cherry balls, I only like them if they're frozen. So that's the weird thing about when we were kids, because Mom would make this stuff like months in advance and freeze it, and like she'd make chocolate, she'd make all kinds of stuff.
Oh, the nougats.
The nougats, like caramels, all this stuff. So we would spend months just stealing this stuff out of the freezer.
Frozen chocolate chip cookies, still a favorite.
So like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm more accustomed to eating all this stuff frozen than I am eating it fresh. So like moon cookies and cherry balls, I only like them when they're frozen. Well, moon cookies I like no matter what, but
Everybody likes moon cookies.
well, especially because the cherry balls, it's literally just butter wrapped around a cherry with some coconut in it. And Mom used to use margarine,
Yes, she did use margarine.
yeah,
but we're not using margarine.
But
because we're bougie.
We are bougie.
You're eating your broken cookie.
oh, that gluten-free flour is a little odd.
She's judging. Ben's just happy to have
Oh yeah, it tastes like Play-Doh.
A little bit. You want to try Susie?
Well, apparently Play-Doh isn't gluten-free.
I'm
so
really,
this is your chance to eat it.
really glad that Bob's Red Mill isn't a sponsor of the show.
That's not bad though. No, it's
I
not
think
bad.
once
Once
it's
they
in
get the
sugar,
sugar on them.
No,
But it definitely
like
tastes a little bit.
It's almost a little dry. Like you almost need more butter.
Yes.
Like if you had adjusted and added more, and it tastes like it has baking soda in it.
That could be the super fine almonds.
That's
too.
what I think it is.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Yeah, I don't think that's.
It definitely tastes like Play-Doh.
I don't think
I
it tastes
don't
like
think it
Play-Doh.
tastes like Play-Doh.
Salty.
Do you eat a lot of Play-Doh?
I do. It's one of my favorite snacks.
Okay.
I remember eating a lot of
so,
Play-Doh.
I mean, it's actually not gluten-free, so you can't eat Play-Doh then.
Wendy, I'm going to check that out because I saw it there. She's saying that I should use the President's Choice gluten-free flour. I saw it there, and I went for the Bob's
I
instead.
need to drink that.
But I don't bake very often, so I don't have that much experience with the gluten-free flour. But thank you for the note, and I will do that next time.
Yeah, I've never cooked with gluten-free before. I mean, they're not terrible. It's just the texture,
Yeah.
and they're dry.
That's good. That's good to know. Thank you. So we're going to pop these in.
So good to know if we want to make Ben baked goods for Christmas. President's Choice gluten-free flour.
I'm not making him baked goods.
Oh, did you hear that? Favorite sister over here. I'll make some cookies.
I already did.
Oh, actually, yeah, bring those over.
The
we
Hobo
have,
cookies.
no, this is another thing that we used to have a lot when we were kids. So this is a chocolate confetti square, so it's like colored marshmallows, peanut butter and chocolate.
Yes.
And a little bit of butter.
And a little
Super
bit of
easy.
butter, and they're so good.
They are so good. And they're super, super easy.
And now I have diabetes.
Really? What else do you use multicolored marshmallows for, other than those?
That's true.
And they have to be the multicolored.
Yeah, they have to be multicolored. I have never seen anybody use them for anything else. I've never seen anybody eat them other than these squares.
Really? When you're saying the Robin Hood stuff's that bad? Hi, Sue. By the way, I didn't see you pop in. Thanks for coming. I did not know that. Yeah, Chris is here. He hasn't said anything, but I saw him come
Hi,
in.
Chris. Hi, Izzy. You're not in it. I'll have a square too. Thank you. Hi, Izzy.
Okay.
You're like putting the lid on. No square.
Wendy, thanks for that, because I actually thought about buying the Robin Hood stuff, and I shied away from it. So that's good to know. So it's grainy and heavy. All right, now that they're out of the way, we can actually get to what matters.
Tell Cassie to come in and help you.
We're going to make some cherry balls. You guys can come help me, actually. I don't mind if you're here. We're going to make some cherry balls.
I watched
So, I'm really not exaggerating that much when I say that it's a cherry with butter wrapped around it. What we're going to do is we're going to drain a bottle of maraschino cherries, which Cassie's been bugging me to do all night. We're going to mix up some butter, sugar, a little bit of coconut, and a little bit of milk, and some almond extract. We're going to roll that all together, cover the cherries, and then we're going to roll it in graham cracker crumbs.
No, nobody can open it. See, that's why we have you here. That's why there's a boy.
Except now I want an old fashioned. So these I used to steal out of the fridge all the time.
Yeah.
Like all the time.
Yes, I remember eating these.
Could you save the liquid and make like a cocktail out of it?
So this liquid, this is what I used to make my sweet and sour sauce.
Oh,
Really?
So this with a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of cornstarch and water makes the best sweet and sour sauce you'll
What do
ever
you do
have.
with all the cherries?
I eat them, or I put them in old fashions, or I just leave them in the fridge till Sue throws them away.
It's true.
Okay, so for these, we need to drain the cherries, and I am going to reserve the liquid.
I need a plate just to put the cherries on.
Just digging through my cupboards.
Yes.
It's way too rolls.
It's not my first time here.
So now that I think about it, like, I think this and the moon cookies were like my favorite. Oh, now the chocolates were so good though.
On the almond bark and
Oh, the almond bark. But I don't think she made that later. Like, because we
Not
used to get it
later.
for Christmas. I think
Yeah.
she used to buy that for us.
There was one point in my 20s when I was very poor, and I literally survived off that almond bark for like a week and a half.
it's true.
You could. It's good.
Yeah, it really is.
You'll get diabetes. It's really good.
Diabetes.
Okay.
They smell so good already.
So when,
It's so sad there's coconut in
when
them.
we were talking about our mom baking a lot, and part of the thing is when we were kids, she actually like had a desserts business. She
Yeah.
used to have a cheesecake business where
Desserts du jour.
she made like 41 different kinds of cheesecake.
Oh, they were
I've never had.
amazing.
Her cheesecakes were ridiculous.
They were so good.
Um,
And they were the baked, like, New York style cheesecakes. They
Yeah,
were
they're so good.
amazing.
so like this really has been in our family for forever.
Yeah, like, I remember, I hear songs on the radio, and I remember being in the kitchen.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Walking
Like,
on sunshine.
And
Yeah.
the radio was always on.
with that table over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we would be baking cookies, and I have pictures of, like, us cutting cookies out, and then I have the cookie cutters. It's really cool.
And that's it. Like if you've seen any of my pictures, and you see the wooden table underneath, that table's right there, and that's the table we grew up with. Like we
Yeah.
all used to run under it and play under it.
And the funny thing about that table, I don't know if the story is true, but I heard two stories about that table. And one of them was that it came out of Park School, which was the school that was across the street from where our parents bought a house, and they tore it down the year before I started school.
Dad said he got it at the Army Surplus Store.
Yeah, so I don't know which story is true.
Yeah.
I heard it came out of the library, and I ate a lot of gum out from under that table. So
Yeah.
There's people's names carved under it and everything.
yeah,
It's a
so
really-
that makes me
really
think it's
cool
from a
table.
school. So
I think Mom always said it was from the school.
yeah, I remember Mom saying it was from our school, but Dad said it was from some surplus. So I don't
Who knows? Okay, let's make some cherry balls.
Awesome. Coconutty goodness.
Christy hates coconut.
I really don't like coconut.
Butter.
So I guess Mom only made these when she was mad at you again.
No, Mom didn't care. She's like, I want chocolate macaroons. Coconut, here we come. I'm like, Mom, I want something sweet.
I didn't like the macaroons.
No. Did you like them?
Sometimes. I really didn't like them when she got in that like sunflower seed kick and put
Oh.
sunflower seeds and everything.
I don't remember. I remember the carrot chick.
And I don't like them now.
They need another minute. This is 4. Is that 4 minutes left?
Seconds.
I
That
don't
was
think
the that was the oh that is minutes. Sorry. That was oh you what did you
You
do?
wrecked it!
That was the temperature was at 400.
Do you have to hit start or anything?
No, it just goes. Okay. I changed it to 3 really quick.
It did.
Okay, so half a cup.
That was an eyeball, not an actual.
This is a
measure.
cherry ball. This is not baking. This is cooking, sort of.
It's still baking.
Shut your mouth. So we're going half a cup of butter.
If you're making this at home, please measure properly.
For this, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Alright, what's next?
It looked like a half a cup to me.
And then we need
Sugar.
1.5 cups of sugar, which we will measure. Do you want to?
You don't want to just...
I don't mind, but Cassie will have a connection. I almost said some bad words. I asked my sisters not to swear, and then I just almost swore very
So
much.
how much sugar?
1.5 cups. So when we were kids, like we'd run into the kitchen, and I remember Mom be measuring stuff out, and I'd always like, Mom, Mom, Mom. And she'd be like, I forgot what I was counting. And I never really understood it until I started cooking, and now, like the slightest little thing when I'm measuring.
Like when you're measuring 6 cups of Rice Krispies for Rice Krispies
Yeah.
and you're like, 4. Is this 5 or 6? Oh! I didn't even measure Rice Krispie squares anymore though.
When we make Rice Krispie squares at home, my daughter calls them Rice Krispie squares.
Well, I'm a good cook. I just like boil. I just do the marshmallows on the stove and then pour till it looks good.
So right now I'm just creaming together the butter and sugar.
like
You
I
could
taught him a
also-
few minutes ago.
You could also do this with a mixer.
Yeah, I've never seen this before. Hi, Nanny.
Yeah.
Suze, come here for a sec. So, Nanny, my grandmother's name is Suzanne Kelly. And
Her oldest daughter's name is
her
Suzanne
oldest daughter's name is Suzanne Kelly, and then this is my wife, whose name is now Suzanne Kelly. So, Suzanne Kelly is here.
Hi,
Hey,
Suzanne. Kelly.
Hi, Nanny.
I'm counting that Kelly though.
Well, okay, shut up. Get in here.
Nitpicking.
Extra Irish.
And then, milk.
Is the milk still in the fridge?
No, I have some here.
Oh, yes. This.
So, Suze, I'm going to do an episode with Suze in the new year. So, don't worry, you'll see a lot more of her.
So you're supposed to be creaming everything together.
Oh my god. So, this is sweetened coconut.
Is it supposed to be sweetened? Really?
It's just coconut.
It didn't say so, I just got sweetened
Yeah.
coconut.
Oh, so
When
when
in
extra
doubt.
sweet.
More sugar.
I usually
Exactly.
use sweetened coconut.
Really?
That's not measured.
What is
That's
that?
not measured.
Milk. I don't cook with a lot of coconut, so whatever I do, I always put unsweetened. The only cookies I like with coconut in them are the Monster cookies.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
Teaspoon of milk.
Mostly because you can't taste them under the cornflakes. I should have made those.
What else is in Monster Cookies? Is there chocolate chip?
There's chocolate chips, cornflakes, coconut,
Almond or vanilla?
Let's go vanilla. We put almond and everything else.
vanilla, and I think you could put nuts in it too, and maybe raisins.
Do you remember Mum used to put nuts in all the chocolate chip cookies?
Yes.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Oh, I hated that. Mom loved nuts. And then banana bread. Banana bread always
Yeah.
had nuts in it. And I know a lot of people like banana bread with walnuts. I wasn't a huge nut fan as a kid, so it was always like
They always,
picking
they
them out.
always tasted bitter.
Your cookies smell done.
Smell that?
So in here, for the cherry balls, we have
They're not gonna burn.
half a cup of butter,
Sesame
1.5.
seeds.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Oh yes.
Talking to the camera. 1.5 cups of sugar, half a cup of coconut, a teaspoon of milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So now, can you grab another plate, please?
Yes, I sure can.
So what we're gonna do?
These are cool.
This is good.
It's like extra buttery. Wait.
What?
Isn't there supposed to be graham crackers in there?
You roll them in the graham
Yeah.
crackers.
See, I don't make
Okay.
these. 'cause
No,
I'm gonna
no.
eat them.
Yeah, I'm doing it right.
Oh, this isn't right.
No, I do.
That's why you need a mixer. Do you have a spoon or something?
Yeah.
I just said
Wait,
it.
yeah, that there. Almost done.
Yeah, I think they're done. So I'm taking the thumbprint cookies out. They look pretty good. Some of the sesame seeds are brown, and like we talked about, the gluten-free flour is in browning, so there's not really any brown to judge by other than the sesame seeds.
What did you do wrong?
You're the one who was adding all the ingredients. I was just mixing it.
We just let Ben do that, and what? Okay.
Where are you going?
I'm just consulting the.
So, do you want to show them the book?
Yes. This was Mom's cookbook that she gave me when I was a teenager, I think when I moved out. But it has some very well. Yes, that's another good one, caramel corn.
Oh yeah. You know what's awesome with this is I did the same thing for at home, and so that for my kids when they leave home, I can just copy it and make another book for them. It's an awesome idea.
This is my original moon cookie cherry ball recipe with peanut butter balls on the back.
All the peanut butter balls.
Oh, those are so good.
So it's like peanut butter, Rice Krispies, and then it's dipped in chocolate.
Peanut butter and icing sugar. Oh, they're divine.
It's supposed to be icing sugar.
You know that you wrote this recipe and sent it to me,
You
right?
just said sugar. No, I took a picture and sent it to you.
Shut your mouth.
I like how every time Ben messes something up and we correct him, he says, "Shut your mouth."
Yeah, this is supposed to be icing sugar, folks. Ben will update it online when he posts it later. But that's why it doesn't look right.
Danielle Martels is definitely icing sugar. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's do it again.
Alright, we got the stuff. Half a cup of butter.
Just for the record, I don't think I added the sugar in there.
No, but I looked at your recipe you printed and it just says sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are really soft.
Do they stick to the pan?
They did not stick. The
fancy.
jam burned, but they didn't stick.
Oh, the jam, did it boil over and burn a little bit?
No, we dripped it on the pan. It didn't boil over. Actually, as you can see.
Ah, alright. How much sugar do we need? I don't have my glasses on today.
Okay, so we need half a cup of butter, which I'm gonna...
Half a cup of butter.
1.5 of icing sugar.
I'm not gonna throw it away, Wendy. I'm gonna make some cookies with it.
What kind of cookies are you going to make with that?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna throw it away. No, I'll make something.
Add some flour and
Yeah.
make a cookie.
Half a cup of butter. It's a lot of sugar.
That's okay.
You can make chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, this feels so much different.
3. That looks so much better.
Yeah, this looks like... I don't know how to explain the difference. It looks more like Play-Doh. Like it almost has... You know what? It looks like sugar scrub.
I don't know what that
Yes,
is.
it does.
It just looks like creamed butter and sugar.
Yeah. Or
Before
sugar
you
scrub.
like add eggs or anything to it.
But like you could use this for a nice facial.
Do it.
I'm not doing that.
Do it.
There you go, Suze. We made you a facial.
I said you could use it as a nice facial.
I don't need it.
Oh, excuse me.
Unlike some people.
Alright, so we have the icing sugar, the coconut. I need a teaspoon of
Look
milk.
at her like measuring the vanilla, like it matters.
I chose this.
And who's the one
bowl
who
of
works as a baker that's standing in this kitchen right now? I think it was me.
Notice how nobody else said anything.
Where did you work as a baker?
At DMU.
Oh.
You made gelato.
No, I made the desserts. My friend Mike made the gelato. I lost the cover.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Alright,
This
so,
bowl is way too small for this.
yeah,
That's fine. You're doing it.
you're doing good.
Oh, thanks, guys.
That looks so much better. Right here.
That was a lot on your hands.
How's it gonna stick to those cherries when they're so wet?
No more guests on this show. And mix it up. Chris, can you do the tap on for me, please?
Oh, it's good. You had all these nice bowls.
Fashion my bowls. Alright, so I would
This looks like
normally-
icing.
Yeah, I would normally throw this in the fridge for like an hour or two. But we're not doing that.
So I said we should do these first.
You want to just take a little...
Wait, did you put the coconut in there?
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
You want yeah?
We do have a mixer, Laura, but it's very loud, and it's not very pleasant for you guys to listen to. And it's much more funny to watch Cassie have aneurysms while we do this by hand.
It was so much easier with a mixer. So I just flatten it in my palm, and then I put the cherry in and just kind of wrap it around.
I just do this.
I don't
Let's
do
see
any of
the
it.
end results.
It's like same.
Yeah, not even a little. Can you get some graham crackers in a bowl? Graham cracker crumbs, please. Is that this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's the same. Same thing.
All right, it passes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, take your time, Chrissy.
Oh, you didn't ask me while you were rolling. Oh, that's really.
Danielle says if it's too wet, add more coconut. That's a good idea.
Oh, that is a good idea.
Do you have scissors?
No, I have knives.
Fine then. You have a-
Don't cut yourself.
Knives are like half scissors.
Half scissors, that's awesome. I want to like cross stitch that. Knives are half scissors. These are kind of green.
It's just the lighting.
Just gluten-free graham. Get over it.
Okay, because your hands aren't sticky, you can be the dry.
It's like breading chicken.
Yes.
You guys are the wet hands. I'm the dry hands. Do you have to roll it in or just kind of just roll them?
Just roll them.
Yeah.
Like not like the sesame seeds where we squish
No,
them in?
no, no. And now person I ever make these for Christmas, and it's your friend Bud, who I never even see. I just leave them at your house for Bud.
I haven't actually seen him in quite a while.
So she's just got like 4 years worth of cherry balls stacked up in the freezer.
So Bud, if you're watching, these are for you.
And they're sure not for me.
He's the only person I know that likes them, but yet they get made every year.
Ben likes them.
Only frozen.
Well, they can go in the freezer pretty easy.
I don't think I ever made any and gave them to you.
Oh, that's sad.
I'm just your poor little brother.
I didn't know you liked them. I'm sorry. Now I will make you like
No, please,
4 batches.
please don't do that.
There's real flour.
There's no flour in them.
There's graham crackers.
Yes, that's true. Oh,
I feel like there's like, is there 2 in here?
yes.
So this is just what we do, you know.
This
We
is
just-
Christmas time.
Make some baked goods, torture each other for a little while. Usually more drinking and swearing involved.
Yes.
I had some wine.
I do too. Is this the only time you bake? No, you bake once in a while for events and stuff.
But
Yeah.
like tea biscuits or baked goods?
No, I do a really good gluten-free Swiss roll. It's ridiculous. It's like essentially like a baked chocolate mousse.
Nice.
It's really, really good.
Why don't we get those?
I was
right.
actually going to take it to your house for Christmas.
Very nice.
Oh, okay.
I will gladly eat that.
Patrick said if you like making cherry balls, he'll gladly eat them.
A lot of people like them.
Do you remember the chocolate cherries Mom used to make?
Yes.
With the like fondant that would liquefy?
Yes.
You did that a few times too.
Yes. It's a long process. It takes
Yeah.
a couple weeks.
Mom used to get into baking these things just because she liked it, and they would be so complicated.
Yeah.
I remember going to school at Christmas with like a box of chocolates for the teacher. Like
Yeah.
homemade chocolates.
Oh.
And the teacher's eyes would just light up. My grade point went up by like 2%.
I don't know if that's true.
They were so good, and it sounds really bad, but I used to like the ones that had the holes in them and it leaked out. She's like, oh, I can't store these. I'm like, oh, that's so sad.
And we always used to, because she made chocolates, there was always these huge blocks of like Belgian
oh, the
white
big,
chocolate.
big blocks, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a white one in my cupboard right now.
And we just like all year be breaking chunks off of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's handy. You know, you have that chocolate craving. Oh, I could really
Until-
eat some chocolate right now. You get out the chisel.
Until Mom goes to make chocolates and realizes we've eaten the whole thing over the
She
course
starts
of the
screaming at us.
Well, I remember when we lived in Bay Head, we had that big pantry in the house.
Yeah.
year.
And Mom had her, the big sugar, what do you call that?
Yeah. Like the band?
Like the, no, the sugar that like you would put on top of a pie.
Oh, like garnishing sugar.
Yeah,
The rock
she
sugar.
had a rock sugar, a big jar of that, and I used to go in and steal a spoonful. And then one day she caught on and she replaced it with pickling salt.
She saved you from diabetes.
Thank you, Wendy.
Yes,
Nice to
she
see
did.
you. Have a good night. Enjoy baking.
Oh, you put it on the side of the bowl.
Cassie always looks so relaxed. Thanks, Alex. I try.
Don't worry, Alex. I'll show you how relaxed I am when I get home.
You can come live with me, Alex. We're pretty chill.
Mm-hmm. You want to see not chill? It's Alex.
Oh, that's not very nice.
No, she like stresses over everything.
She's watching.
I know. She knows it. She knows it.
She can hear you.
She knows I love her too.
We're just rolling. We're just rolling some cherry balls.
That's how I
This is
roll.
like the only batch I feel like we're doing all of the cookies for.
Yeah.
The rest of them are like sitting over there not.
But it's gonna be up baking all night.
But you're just
Yeah.
gonna leave them? You're not gonna finish them?
Oh, I guess.
What was your favorite thing Mom made?
I don't know. I've been trying to think.
Like baked goods or just in general?
Oh, in general, let's say.
Well, the crinkler.
The crinkle.
Yes.
Which I make and is amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Like seriously, it's like this shortbread base with like a cream puff and then almond icing and almond slivers on top. It is to die for.
It's ridiculous.
It's
People
so good.
have fought over the last piece, and I am not joking.
Alex
There
said,
have been black eyes.
"What are you saying? I'm relaxed."
She says.
Um, Mom made really good lasagna. Oh, her garlic rolls.
garlic rolls?
garlic
Yeah.
caramels.
We put those in the
Yeah.
book.
It was like a white roll with just like
Garlic and Parmesan.
And
And
drowned
and
in butter.
oregano and butter.
Yeah, and they were like, the rolls were rolled in butter before she even put them in
Yeah.
the pan. And then there was more butter on top. They were so good.
Everything's better with butter.
It is. There, we're done.
What was your favorite?
That's hard. I love the chocolates.
Yes. the
Love the
chocolate.
crinkling.
Yeah.
I loved a lot of it. I don't. You know what I miss though, and I've been thinking about a lot and trying to figure out how to find the recipe is the pudding. But it was like a baked pudding with raisins in it and caramel sauce.
You know, that was one of the last things she baked before she died.
I know. It was
Yeah.
like the last Christmas she made that.
And she was really excited that she found the recipe. I might have it at home somewhere.
I remember her making that years before and loving it. And when you Google pudding,
Yeah, I don't think it's a pudding though. It's like a
Well,
cake,
no,
and
it's-
it has a caramel underneath.
It's a British pudding. It's like a sticky toffee pudding.
yeah.
Because I make the chocolate one.
I wonder if it's spotted dick.
No, I don't think so.
That's a caramel with raisin
It is.
pudding.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll have to make it and see.
You're like, I don't think so. You don't even know what it is.
No, I know that you can buy it in a can at Pete's for Tea.
Well, maybe it's the same thing and it's delicious.
Should we all try one? Christy, you have to try one.
No, I
Oh, it's good news.
No, I don't.
They're definitely better when they're cold, but
Yeah.
I'll eat a cookie from over here. I'll eat one of my
we
sesame
gotta
cookies.
dust the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it really just tastes like delicious butter.
Yeah, it's really just butter and cherry.
And sugar. There's lots of sugar.
We're almost done. All we have left to do is to roll the things,
Moon cookies?
the moon cookies in icing sugar.
Yeah, it was
How's
the
that?
flour, not the almonds.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, tastes like Play-Doh.
I'll just put these on the stand. No. Should I put them?
Oh yeah.
What should I put the moon cookies on?
Plate.
I really do like the sesame seeds.
It gives it like a little crunch, right? Mm-hmm. That's nice. And it did actually brown a little bit.
But I think that's mostly the seeds.
No, it's the dough.
Excuse me.
Everything tastes like Play-Doh.
But I like the sesame seeds because of the like it's almost like a crackle and pop kind of thing. Like it's nice.
Yeah.
Ben, maybe if you stop eating Play-Doh, things won't taste like Play-Doh anymore.
Well, maybe I'll just stop eating the things that you bake for me then.
Alright. I will take my confetti squares home. There are lots of people there that will
They're
eat
not
them.
baked. It's a loophole. I get to keep them. So there, like this to me is Christmas. Like
Yeah.
this
Yes.
is my childhood right here.
Always the first thing I bake. This is the beginning of my Christmas baking. Is always moon cookies.
They're much better with the icing sugar on them.
Are they?
Yeah, they don't taste like Play-Doh.
That's the after graininess.
It is, but they do taste way better.
The minute the icing sugar hits your tongue, it's Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
it
is.
is.
Don't ask anyway.
I feel like the moon cookies would be good with sesame seeds on them too. Or is that like sacrilegious?
They're really good too if you dip them, like I used to dip them half in chocolate. I think that's what happened with Moon Cookie Gate.
With moon
I think
cookie
that
gate.
was the year when I wasn't allowed to bring them to your house anymore.
No, they were regular.
Better than yours.
Okay, we gotta go because there's about to be a fist fight.
If I made them out of real flour, mine would be better.
I do actually have some stunt moon cookies over there that are not made in gluten-free flour, just in case the gluten-free ones didn't turn out.
All right, do you guys have anything else to say before we go?
Thank you for having us.
Thanks
Merry
for coming.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much for coming, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, this
I'm
was
glad,
fun.
glad we were able to do this.
It was fun to talk to your phone for an hour.
Well, it's you think it's weird talking to the phone. I do this by myself for like an hour and a half.
That's true. You should get some more guests.
Well, so in the new
You should
year,
get some friends.
they're in there, Christy. They're in there. In the new year, a lot of the people watching know this, but I'm going to start having a lot more guests because the idea really is that I want people at home to cook along.
Yes.
So I go a little too fast for people because I can't really gauge how fast they're going.
Yeah.
So in the new year, I'm going to have more guests where I'm not actually cooking. I'm just walking the guests through the dish.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a
then
really good idea.
It'll slow everything down so the people at home can cook along.
That's a
So
really
next
good
week is our last episode before Christmas. Not ours.
What are you making?
Get out of here. We're making I don't know. There's more of me than one. It's all up there.
What are you making?
I am making Christmas brunch.
Oh yes, and what's going to be in the Christmas brunch?
I have no idea yet.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cheese ball.
maybe.
Because typically our Christmas morning is cheese ball.
No, I'm gonna do like an actual brunch though.
Oh.
You should tell the people about cheese ball now because we brought it up.
It's a cheese ball. The end.
It's super fancy.
No, it's like it's.
It's actually called a log.
Well, we always made it a ball. It's cheddar cheese. It's got boiled
Pickles.
egg in it. It's got gherkins in it. It's got crackers. It's got mayonnaise.
Olives.
It's got what?
Olives.
Olives.
And pimento.
Pimento. Yeah.
Have you never made it?
I don't eat it. I'm lactose
So
intolerant.
the thing about it is though, that you need so much pimento that you end up with all these olives without pimento in it in your cup.
You know you can buy pimento.
Yeah, but I already have to buy the olives. Get out of here! Sue, I don't know if I'm going to do frittata because I'm actually on CTV next week and I think I'm doing frittata there.
Ooh.
But we'll see.
You should plug it. What day? What time?
Thursday, I think it's 7:15 a.m.
Nice plug.
It's
You don't know what time.
well,
Christmas
it's not confirmed yet. The time isn't confirmed, but it will be on Thursday
How am I
morning.
going to show that somebody ate one? Half of it.
So these are the other cookies. These are cherry balls. So guys, this really is our Christmas tradition. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. I hope that you all have a fantastic week, and I'll be back next week with Christmas brunch, and that will be the last episode of the year. And then next year we'll come back with some new stuff. Guys, thank you again for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
I hope that you all enjoyed the episode. Thank you to my sponsors, Ashworks Cutting Boards and Tea North Carbonated Iced Tea. The beautiful cutting boards that are blocked. Get the stuff over there. Get it.
There we go.
Beautiful cutting boards and the beautiful iced tea. Yeah. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy holidays.